All right. Seafarers $1,000 tournament semifinals, table 1. We're playing for a spot to get into the final table for $1,000. Here at this table, Pavons on green, Dobbins from the Flock on black, Bump Set Spike, the last minute qualifier on blue, and Enfo on red. First placement is the 8-5-10 for Pavons. Extremely strong spot there. Or Wheat and Sheep all set up, ready to go there. Pointing out towards the right there, Woodport on line 2 there. We've got some 9-6-10s here, or Wheat and Brick there. Then we've got double Brick 9s here. Another nice spot. 8-4-11 looks pretty interesting, but again, maybe not as much Sheep as you'd like here. The ports here, Sheep out here, Brick out here. Brick going to be fairly abundant here. Sheep, I don't think as much. 10s, 11s, 12s, and the 9. It's going to be tough to get Sheep. Don't underestimate it, which means that the wood and the Sheep is going to be a tough combination to secure. And you may just need to make it some other way through ports, though. 3-5-10 might also be a spot that some take. 8 and 11 could be a spot here. I'm not sure if folks will go through the 6-9 here as well, and maybe try to build over and across. Imagine if you get 8-4-11 and 6-49. That would be quite a pair up. That would be quite a pair up. You could definitely work that Wheat port, especially if you do get the Wheat down there. Dobbins with the ideas now. I think you definitely have to take some form of production as your first step here. It's just, what are those follow-up spots, right? So if you take something like this, you're going to be looking for Sheep and Wood. You're going to be looking for Sheep and Wood. It's going to be tough to get that together. You're maybe looking at the 5, 12, and 3 afterwards, and then maybe trying to port it out. Of course, Sheep port's not going to do you any good. The Brick port might be fairly useful, but it's going to be tough. So then you look for Sheep and Wood elsewhere, or Sheep and Wood elsewhere, and maybe a race down. But ports are tough to come by. You know, ports are pretty tough to come by. The 3-1s do end up coming into play more often than not. But you don't want to just get stuck on just ore and wheat, because you'll get a lot of cities, but that might just be it. So we're porting off towards the interior here. 3-1 on the 10 and 3, but also a 6 here will get us easy access, hopefully, to all 3 islands here, is Dobbins. Bump Set Spike going next. I think we were eyeing up that 8-4-11, maybe the 6-4-9 here. And now if you take one and leave the other, what's your opponent going to take? We've also got 3-4-5, 4-10-2, 5, 3-12 might be out there as well. It's going to be the 8-4-11 up to the top there, and they point towards the 3-1 port with instant access over to the other side here as well. So Bump Set Spike starting off on one of the only Wood and Sheep pairings on the board here. Now, in some ways, I do like the 4-2-10 Sheep Wood pairing. There's enough of a ratio there, but you are relying pretty heavily on some outside rolls here. Now, 6-4-9, good production, but what are you trying to make? What are you trying to make? You're going to need some wood or some ore to make up for it. So if you do set down there, I think you are looking at maybe the 8-11 to get that 3-1 port. Maybe trade away some of that brick, but it's going to be a slow goings for you, and your settlement options are not bad, but they're not great. You're not going to be on wood for a very, very, very long time. And it's definitely going to be 3-1 spots pretty much the entire time for you. So lots of cities, lots of production that way. The other option is looking for some of the wood here, and you do get the 5 and the 6-4 pairings on it. So then maybe you are looking to get to the 9. Maybe you get yourself out to the Sheep port here as well. But again, those numbers aren't too enticing there, and you don't get yourself too much for ore. And you also don't get yourself out onto the other islands as fast either. So it could be something like this and this, with some fast spread out to the islands, some fast cities, maybe another fast settlement here, and then build out here or build out this way, and that'll be enough to get info onto 2 new islands and get their points out that way. It is going to be the 6-4-9 first, which leads me to believe that this is actually going to be a 3 hex spot afterwards. So maybe the 5-12, 3 or the 5-10-2, maybe even the 10-4. I'm not sure. There's a chance that they take the 3-5-8. Just so that they do have some ore, wheat, and sheep, but it's going to be heavy on the bricks, and their hand is going to be stuck that way. Otherwise, coordinated roads might be the way to go here, as they may be able to reach up and reach away here. Soren tells me that all 4 players are in voice chat for this one, which might be good. We might be able to jump in on that. Yeah, they do take the 3-5-10. Okay, 3-5-10. They get a little bit of ore, but they're on so much brick without a port. So much brick without a port. That's going to be really tricky, I think. Really tricky to play for Enfo. Bump set spike now. They're going to be locked out of brick and wheat. So no real good spots for it unless they entertain this 12-10-3 idea. But in some ways, I think they might be better suited to play something like the 8-11 and try to get themselves out there. Yeah, I definitely think with Enfo, pointing to the 3-1 might have been better. You double up on the 9, which is fairly good, and then if you're playing with all this brick, you might as well. Oh, bump set spike on the 6-9, starting with the ship as well. They might be able to race themselves out onto the 6 wheat, and maybe even out onto the 9 ore. A little 6 wheat here, a little 9 ore over there. Some fast points. Remember, it only goes to 13 this time around. Now it brings it back to Dobbins here, who does actually have the option of a 5-12-3 here, but I don't know if that's good enough. Is that wood and that sheep good enough? And the other one's the 10-4-2. Not that anything's really coordinated there. And then port-wise, they are looking for this 3-1 here. Now, it depends if they want a city up first or if they want to get their settlements out there first. The brick port is something that they might keep in mind. But again, they're already built out towards the center here. You know, setting it down on the 8-11 only really hurts Enfo. Right? Enfo is trying to build out there, so if you build out there, that's the only person you're blocking. The other might just be a 45 here, and then start with the ship and come down here. Because you're going to have a 3-1 port, and then maybe up on the 9 here, you can definitely sneak some extra wheat in there. I don't mind the 45 because you end up blocking Pavon's, who's got one of the best ore wheat sheep spots there. So I feel like blocking the 4-5 is not bad. The production numbers are okay. You're missing a little bit of sheep to get started. But I think once you get that 3-4 going, once you get that 3-1 port going, it's not going to be too tough. It does seem kind of tough, actually, now that I look at it. It's a little bit tough, but giving it away to Pavon seems like such a good spot for that settlement. Such a good spot for Pavon's first expansion. Yeah, it's going to have to be the 5-3-12 there. And they're going to build out. Yeah, maybe even blocking bump set spike from getting to the island here too. You might have a couple options here. You know, you build out here, you build out here. The only spot might be here, and you can probably ship across and block bump set spike from getting to this island. That's possible. But yeah, Pavon's now feels like they're in such a good spot. You know, regardless of what they get, this is going to be their settlement. They're going to have the 4. They're going to have the wood port. So I'd try to get, maybe just trying to block the wood here. I think they are trying to block the wood there so that they don't get this extra wood for that wood port. Because another 3 hex spot for Pavon's would have been far too much. So Pavon's here has to try and settle on some sort of an edge here. And I don't think Pavon's is going to take this at all. We may end up looking at, yeah, maybe even something like the 11-12, which is not crazy, just because it's all about that sheep port. And they start off with a ship. So maybe they start off here, start off with a ship. They can save up enough to build another road here. And then once they have that, they're going to have 2 ships ready to go. Something like that. That'll at least accelerate their path over, but I mean 11-12 is not super ideal. I don't love it. 8-11 does seem to be like the fastest way to get your cities up. double up on the 8 there. 10-3 is an okay option. It's pretty low on the list, to be fair. I mean, they could try to settle up here. 8? Wow. 8 with the 3-1, blocking out bump set spike, and a fast settlement over is what they're aiming for. Bump set spike is going to have to redirect down to there, and this may be a race now of sorts. Up in the north, Pavons with some sort of a move at the end there. Forget 2 hex placements. That's a single 3-1 port. The 8s are paired up, which I think is what they're aiming at here, and they are going to city up their own 8. Bump set spike now immediately with the ship over to the 6 says, forget building up there. I think this puts Dobbins in a slightly better spot now, you know, because bump set spike now blocked out of a nice natural 8 3-1 spot. And now having to build down here. This also only puts Pavons on a single hex now. Yeah, it's going to be the 8 for the wood port for sure. If they do get the 5, that's going to be extra wood. I think that's why Dobbins wanted this, was to make sure that we blocked off some of the wood. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really slow, but I mean, the road goes down right away. Pavons trades with Enfo, and that's going to get them a fast start. I think Enfo's got to get a little bit more for that trade, 1 for 1. I mean, they don't make any brick on their own. Enfo's got to trade up maybe 2-1 for that, I think. You got to know the price. Pavons gets away with a 1 for 1 there. But I guess Enfo might be able to get off to a faster start here. You know, if they get to the 8-3, maybe they get their cities up here. And now this road actually does look like it's been a little bit of a waste because they could have pointed to that 3-1 port, which they do need. But this might be a stretch here. This might just be a double road to the 8-11. And I think I like that for Enfo a little bit better. Again, it's a little bit slower, but at least it opens up to 3-1. They still get the 8 ore. They're 1 away from getting onto this new island, and then a couple away from getting to the other island. So it is possible for Enfo to creep their way back into this game with the right settlements here. But again, their brick is not going to be traded out for a very good ratio here until they get to that 3-1 here. So Dobbins rolls 7. I think blocking the 8 here is going to be fairly natural for both Dobbins and for Enfo. Pretty strong spot to block for them. Really good producing number. Kind of hurts bump set spike a little bit more, I think. You know, because bump is actually looking to build out as much as possible here. Whereas Pavons is happy just with their settlements here. You know, they can city up, they can keep buying dev cards. Eventually, Pavons would like to do that. Bump set spike rolls to 7, has to move it away. I don't know if they'll block Dobbins or if they'll block something like the 8 ore here to keep them off. They may end up blocking the 10 sheep here, just block Enfo and Pavons. There's not a lot of shared spots here for Dobbins, so I don't know if bump set spike will make that. Yeah, they do. They make the commitment. They block Dobbins, and so they're going to have to keep moving that robber around for a bit. The road comes down here for bump set spike too, as you know, they're not happy holding cards to settle down onto their Enfo with the roll here. Gets a sheep off that roll, and let's see if they start laying down the roads to get there. I would assume so. Hey, what's up, Alex? News alert, Honora has plowed here on table 2. It sounds like Honora. I think we called Honora to be one of those winners. 11 for bump set spikes sheep there, and we get a 9 here. Missing Dobbins on that rotation there. 8 gets rolled out. Pavons gets a little bit of a lead in terms of resources now, and bump set spike. Have they set themselves up for a settlement of their own? Trying to give away wood for wheat. Honora is a sneaky plower. Words I never thought I would hear. Bumps that spike. Now offering a 2-to-1. Basically giving away a ship here, although nobody else is really on the coast other than Pavon's here. And I don't think Pavon's is willing to give it away just yet, since they need to build a settlement for themselves. Trades with Dobbins. Dobbins gets... Dobbins will actually take it, so Dobbins will get closer to their own settlement here. Bumps that spike, already making it to a new island here. Means they're going to be at 5 points showing. Another settlement and another couple here will mean that, well, Bumps that spike is going to be on 8 and 11 points. So in this one, you can actually win without cities, because 13 is quite a low threshold here. And you can settle onto 2 new islands. Every new settle is going to be, 6 points, right? Your settlement plus 2. So 6 points, 6 points, plus the original 2 that you started on. Get a little longest road. Buy a lucky dev card. Definitely possible. Way easier with cities, for sure, I think. Pavon's with a 7. Robber on 6 brick down at the bottom here. Steals from Bumps that spike, who's at least showing some good numbers. Doubles up on the 6s, wheat and brick. Yeah, at least showing 5 points, which looks like a big deal. Pavon's here is at 8 resources now, but not immediately dropping down the settlement. Makes me wonder, what are we missing? Maybe another brick? No, the ship comes out. Ship comes out. There are already 2 ships up at the top. 9 rolls out. The settlement down for Dobbins here as the 3-to-1 is activated. 8 again. If the 8s keep rolling like this, Pavon's going to have a game. The 3 hits, that's double wheat for Dobbins. And 1 ore for Enfo. Bump will need a city early, though, because his settlements won't have great production. They are not great. They aren't. 6-9 is good on its own. 8-4-11 was the 3rd spot, which was kind of like, yeah, it's alright. But isn't 8-4 and the 11 really means their production is quite low. And yeah, even if they do try to settle out here, it's going to be a single number. If they expand across, probably single number, or maybe even not at all, right? Because they might have to go all the way around. And if they make another settlement through here, nothing there. Single numbers all the way around. It does seem like very low production. Kratz, what's with the +2 on the blue settlement? There are special victory point conditions in Seafarers. And so if you start on an island, those are your home islands. If you build out and expand to any of the new islands, that's +2 points for making it off your island. So now you can see Bumps that Spike is at 5 points. Part of the new rules. Settlement goes down. Pavon's has activated Woodport. I think I like Dobbins' setup too, but Pavon's has gone away with good trades and even better rolls. And I think Pavon's road to cities and dev cards and everything else might just make it so that Pavon's actually gets away with this one. There's no longer a way to block off here for Dobbins, so I think Pavon's is going to get that, and it's going to be actually Dobbins who's cut off from getting to this new island here. So Dobbins will only be able to get off to this island and this island unless they build through this way. So Dobbins is actually shut out from the northern island for now as a 7 hits. That's no good for Enfo. Enfo going to block onto the 8 ore there. Enfo is not going to be able to road and settle on this turn anymore, especially not after throwing a dev card away like that. So Bumps that Spike realizing that, Pavon's is decidedly in the lead now. Blocks the 8 ore, hopefully no cities. Because I think if Pavon's gets a city now, like this city is so huge for Pavon's. So Bump's going to have a slow crawl too. Dobbins, if Dobbins can keep the robber off of themselves and keep it on Pavon's, or keep the focus, keep the aggro onto Pavon's. Yeah, the 8 gets blocked there. then Dobbins can actually creep back into the game. Enfo here with the very slow production, but they are going to get out to that 8-11, 3-1. Pavons with the free clear. Everything going their way right now. Hopefully they block out bump set spike because they've already got a ship pointing out to the 9 ore here, which is going to help them out with cities. So the 6 double block is as good as it gets. That's going to hit Dobbins and Bump. Bump going to get stolen from there, so no settlements, no expansions just yet. The 5 here, the 9 here, actually does hit for some more ore. We could actually see Dobbins trade up a little bit and maybe get themselves onto an early city here too. I think that early city for Dobbins would be pretty helpful. You actually see it here now too, trying to go wheat and wood for ore. 2-1, I think. I don't know if Enfo's still got one. Enfo's probably, oh no, Enfo threw away. Enfo threw away for sure. Bump set spike willing to give a sheep for a wheat and a wood. Dobbins wanted to go straight wheat for sheep. And this might be ship. You think it might be ships? I don't know. I'm not sure where they'd be going with the ships. Ship. I mean, this seems really far away. This is fine. The extra ship here, you know, bump set spike is actually getting enough production here to stretch out. And they're kind of staking out their spots here, and they're going to slowly power creep their way up to good production. You know, their 9s are going to be coordinated sheep ore. They are still going to be a little bit blocked out of the wheat here. They're going to have tons of ore with the 4 here. Enfo actually gets the trade off ore for wood. So the 8-11 is online with a 3-1 for Enfo, but I think that might have given Dobbins a city there. 6 is rolled, 1 off from the 7. Dobbins is holding his breath right now as Pavon's here with 7. May decide to set down here. On the 5. My cat just sneezed and woke herself up. It's okay. 6 rolls out. Dobbins is okay. Sets the city down. 9, 6, 10. Dobbins with another early city. Last game, same deal. This one, maybe. Now the problem is, where do we go after this? All right, Dobbins is citied up on the 9, 6, 10, but the 6 is blocked right now, so we need some more sheep. Last time it was easy to get the sheeps out there. This time the road to the sheeps is already blocked out of the way, and the road to the top is blocked. So the only way is across to this 11, which is not really good, to be honest. And it may be that the brick port is what you have to race for, but you got to believe that Pavon's is close. So the road actually comes back, and options for 11, 10, and 11, 10, 12, and the 9, 11 are options here. May need to just stay close and get those settlements out. The other option here, right, blocking off the 9, 10 to make sure, you know, that bump set spike can't just keep going all the way to the sheep port. I don't know that would be an option, but I do like the option of having fast settlements down here. Wow. Bump set actually doubles up on the 4. I like that. I mean, they could have doubled up on this 9 here, but this is already going to be a blockable spot. So even though the 9 is better, it does make it so that the robber is more and more attracted here, and the 4 is less likely to be blocked. It also does give them options to, again, build their ships out and get onto the 11s there. 9 is 2 heat. Pavons with the city. The table hates to see it. Pavons rolls their way up. 8, 5, 10 citied up. Triple on the 5. That's going to be tough. And yeah, the 8 hits already there. Enfo, though, slowly getting their way up to a city. Falling behind, though. Bump set spike now. May see the writing on the wall as they need to try to get their way over onto the new island here. You know, Bump could get themselves up to 9 points fairly quickly with another, with maybe just the longest trade route and one more for the 11. Now I'm actually wondering if we start moving our ships over this way here, and we just go this way, right? He's already got 1, 2. A third ship will get you there, and a third ship is actually going to get you longest trade route and the new settlement. Bump set could actually be very quick here, right? Move the ship, move the ship. One more, and you're on the new island, and that's it. Like I said, 5 settlements might actually get you close. I don't think there's really a way to block here other than a road settlement this way, but Dobbins had already pointed out this way, and I mean, the only way to block now then would be for this guy to move over. City comes down for Enfo. It's the 649. The 3-1 port is active. 7 is rolled here. The robber onto the 8, of course. We gotta keep Pavons at bay here. We'll have to see how this one goes. It is really hard to block him from getting to the 11. You know, you could even go around this way, get to the 11. Yeah, pretty hard. Pretty hard to block off from the 11 unless you actually build out onto the other side there. So I do think Bump will try to get to the 11 at some point. I think Pavons here will get this settlement up as soon as possible. And then I think they also build towards another one. Or they go for army here too. The road comes out. And it could be that Dobbins is actually trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4 ships out to the 9. Again, they're going to have the longest trade route. And they do need that sheep, that improved sheep out there. But that seems like a long way to go around. I don't know if they've got the production for it, but maybe just a whole bunch of 3-1s on those bricks. You know, between the 5 and the 10, they're going to have enough ships to get out there. Hoping just for that straight production here. You know, with the city unblocked, a couple of 6s and 9s might get you a few more cities here. And that might do the trick for you. Bump set spike with control now with the 7. They block the triple producing 5 wheat here for Pavons as they become the center focus here. No, the settlement does come down. That's going to be 5 settlements here. Bump set spike drops it on the 9, goes for the city first. So hoping for the 4, the 9, the 6s to roll. And he gets at least the 6 to start. Soren tells me table 4 is insane right now. I think that was the wild card one. Table 4 was kind of wild with Ravi and Zurules. I think one of these community tournament nights, I'm going to try to do a multi-table kind of a setup and have like 4 windows open or something. I'm going to do something like that. I don't know if it'll be big enough to see on stream. We'll have to figure it out. Pavons rolls out the 7 here, moves it over to the 9, or blocked out. That's going to slow things down for Dobbins. Bump is not going to be able to get up to that city. Oh! And yeah, it's going to be the pirate moving over. Soren's watching all 4 right now. Dobbins does roll out the 3. That's going to be more of that rare wheat for them. Enfo gets another ore to their name on that one too. Dobbins trying to go wheat for wood. So knowing that the wheat is out there, the only person or persons with wood would be Bump Set, who's still going for a 2-1. Even after all this, Bump is trying to make the resources count. Does it count? No, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. Not really quite sure if they want to go to the 2-1 route. 2-1 route. Why the brick and the wheat though? That's kind of an interesting one. Brick and wheat for Bump Set Spike. What does that do? Not sure. They end up just 3-1ing. Dobbins with a development card to start things off. 7 rolls back. It's going to go back onto the 8 here, back onto Pavons. I like the development there first. Yeah, I think I would have liked to move the ships. I think I would have liked to move the ships here too. Because there was a very firm trade route you could have established through here and maybe block some other folks somehow, some way. But we'll see. The 4 rolls out. Enfo gets a couple more bricks. Bump gets 2 ores on that 4, which is huge for getting towards the city there. So hopefully Bump doesn't 7 out. Hopefully Bump doesn't get stolen from. Enfo going 3-1. Goes for a wood here. Is it going to be... Yeah, it's going to be the ship. Hopefully onto the new island there. 9 rolls out. That's Bump's ore. Bump's got all the ore that they need. Enfo gets a couple more wheat. Dobbins with the double ore in hand. The 8 rolls luckily blocked wood. Going out for Bump and Pavons here. Bump is in a really good spot now. Bump doesn't hit on that one, but just needs a little bit of wheat, I think, and gets that city down. Probably looking at this point to be the 8-4-11. Now trying to get an ore out there. I think they'll still have enough to maybe 4-for-1 here, but they may have to hold on to the next turn if they don't have it. A wood and an ore. I could see Dobbins might have given all theirs away or used all theirs up. It might have to be a triple resource trade here. I really do think Enfo needs to go more like 2-1 or get a little bit more out of it. I think they could have gotten a wood and a sheep for it. You know, a wood and a sheep for the wheat. I think Enfo would have been able to help build out, you know, get that ship out there. 2 rolls out. Bump set running out of time? Because they're at 10 cards. I think Bump would have done something about it, but maybe they actually just want to hold so that they don't completely 7 out. Okay, I mean, that's a calculated risk. Maybe they couldn't build anything. Maybe they couldn't trade anything away. Must have been time. He was still trying to make some trades, still trying to talk. It is fast game here. Enfo is trying to get that sheep now. See, and I think Enfo could have asked for the wood and the sheep for that wheat. I think that was possible to make it happen. 6 rolls out here. Dobbins ever so close to another city themselves here. Enfo with a couple more bricks, and then Bump gets that wheat and that brick. That's why they're trading. They get the wheat and the brick all the time on that 6. So that's probably most likely what they're trading away here. Pavons goes 3-1. The sheep, the settlement, that's going to be the wood. The 5 wood up in the western island, the northern tip there. That's another new island. That is 7 points to Pavons. And Pavons only a couple more points away from the win here. The 10 out here gets Dobbins a lot of resources. Still trying to go for a little bit of extra sheep here. Maybe looking to 3-1 it away so they can get another city down. Or even actually just get their settlement. They actually don't have any sheep there, so sheep are important. Double brick for an ore and a sheep might be able to get them more development cards, actually. Pavons is in the lead with 1 night played, but the development card race is a little bit far behind. 3-1 brick goes for the ore. Dobbins does get that second city down. I like the production there. Bumps at spike, hits a 6, does not 7 out. Holding at 10 cards, he finds himself with 14 now. Kind of got away with one there. A little bit lucky going all the way around. So Bumps at spike, still trying to go 1-1, 2-1, anything for that wood. And I'm not sure they want Bump to get it. You know, collectively as a table, you just say don't give him the city. No, he gets the city anyway. It doesn't matter. The city is down already, 8-4-11. They're looking for longest road here. Gets them to 10. It's going to be a development card first and maybe a couple more after that. Enfo rolls out another 6. The 6s here are so good. And it's actually going to be Enfo with the longest trade route for now as they reach for this 4 here. Still needs another ship to get out there. They do have 11 resources in hand, of course. Most of that probably being brick. They're going to have to 3-1 the majority of that away. 2 brick for 1 wood is the trade that they're offering out. Still, again, no wood for them. And still trying to hold on to some of their bricks. So maybe they only have 3 in hand. Trying to save 1 in there so that they can actually get their settlement down once they reach out there. So they have some options here too. Once they get up onto there, yeah. Once they get out onto there, another ship goes down. That's actually 3 to 1, 3 to 1. 2 rolls out here, nothing for that. But once they actually get out there, I don't think they're going to keep going for these sheep. So they're just going to build here. And then the last part that they need to get onto is this 6 here. So they may try to build their way back around 1, 2, 3 and get back out there. Doesn't do a whole bunch in terms of their longest road, but that may be one of the ways that they have to go. And again, blocking off Dobbins and Black from getting out over there, especially since they are just building out over here. There is actually no way to get out here now, as that's been blocked off. So this is just a settlement spot here, but again, longest road might still come through this way. Dobbins goes ahead and 3 to 1s with the bank. The settlement comes down. 9 is tripled up, but it's the 8 that rolls first. Double wood for bump set Spike, as longest trade route is no problem for them, and it is even possible for them to actually cut them off here. No, the cutoff, the plow comes through here, and they're going to build their way towards the 11. So starting off on the 4 now, you see it now, 9 points. They may have 1 in hand. It might just be 2 ships and a settlement for bump set Spike. Pirate probably needs to move over. The robber probably needs to change focuses. Enfo here, 3 to 1 to the bank. That's going to be a settlement down there. That's going to be developed there. 9 points for Enfo, who feels like they're quite in the lead. And it's going to be triple ore for Dobbins here after the 9 rolls. Do they get another city, or do they start trading out some more? Pavon's here with the 7. Finds themselves at 7. 7 cards, 7 points. But now a little bit farther away. Bump set Spike maybe just slowly building their way up to that last point. Getting that city up was huge. Couple nice trades, couple nice rolls for them. But it shouldn't be too hard to get a couple of ships out now. 2 ships do come down here. Now, how far are we? Bump set Spike is actually really close here. They actually don't have longest road right now, and he's tied with Enfo. So building any ship will actually take it, and that's going to be 11, potentially with a point in hand. So they might not even need to go to this new island. They might not even need it. They might just have another city. Dobbins goes 3 to 1, 3 to 1. The 3rd city comes down. Hopefully the production matches. Bump actually gets another wheat, another brick, 10 resources. They get the city up. Bump is really close. That might be a mono in hand that they have. If they have a mono in hand, the road's not going to be able to do it. It's only going to be 12 there, and they may need to wait till the next turn. Bump might actually just take everything on one turn here. City goes down for Enfo, who finds themselves at 10, but I think Bump is far, far closer with the 1 point there. And finally, Pirate makes an appearance, but it is on Bump, who needs to throw away here. Pavons, though, are they going to make the right move? What are they going to do? I feel like they have to block out Bump at some junction, whether that's with the Pirate or with the production here. Looks like production may be the go-to here as they move the 8 off here. Yeah, probably for the brick there. And I just wondered if maybe the wood wasn't the better block, but you know that Pavons was the one moving it, so of course Pavons wasn't going to block out their own. Another city comes down. That's Dobbins with all 4 cities now. 9 gets them quadruple ore, but that also means Bump gets an ore double sheep. If an 8 had rolled there too, that would have been 2 wood, and it doesn't matter. They're going to 4 to 1 it. Longest road for 12. Still 1 card, though. You got to think that that's got to be a monopoly that they're just timing it on. The knight would have been used to move it. Maybe it was a year of plenty to get themselves exactly what they need. I mean, if they get another ship, it could be that year of plenty to make sure that they get the exact settlement that they need. But Bump is going to win this one if nothing else is done. Yeah, if the Pirate could go there, that would be fantastic, especially leaving the 6 on a number here. But I mean, it would be better served to be on the 8 so that they can't actually do anything that way. Cities are still an option for bump at this point as well, even with the 4 tripled up on the ore. It's hard to block, hard to keep them down. So unless Enfo actually continues, yeah, I was gonna say unless Enfo actually keeps building longest road, but they don't. They actually turn their way back around, and Dobbins gets robbed. That's gonna be a tough one there, as Dobbins gets 3 brick and 1 ore back to the bank. Pavon's here. What's the play? So I think they actually do move the pirate here, because they're the ones that moved it here. They don't want to block the 8 wood. Somebody else can block the 8 wood. No, they block the 9. I think, yeah, I mean, blocking production is pretty big right now. Anything that's ore, wheat, and sheep, I could see. This is a double sheep, which is okay. I feel like the wheat was more important. Maybe the ore. Pavons goes 3 to 1. They get their ship out. They're reaching. That'll be a new island for them. The 6 does get unblocked. The 6 does get rolled. Bump with a whole bunch of resources now. Dobbins with the road building though. Ship. Is that a settle? 3 to 1 for the sheep. Dobbins with the plow onto the new island, finds themselves at 11 points. Enfo needs to move that ship and try to hold that longest trade route here. I think the table should be trying to get Enfo the longest trade route and table talk him into building that. Bump actually rolls the 7 out after moving the knight here, drops it off onto the 5 wood up top. Pavons gets the steal out, 7 resources in hand. Bump passes it along at 7. The 11 rolls. Enfo, I'm hoping they pivot here at some point. They drop that ship up, they move it along, and yeah, it's going to be more ships up along the top, hopefully, for Enfo to hold that longest road. It's going to be 3 to 1 for another wood. Slow going, slow crawls there, but longest trade route is secured for now. The 9 rolls out again. Dobbins with a whole bunch of ore. Pavons with only 2 resources passes. Another roll. That's an 11 again. Wood, ore, all in hand for Dobbins. How do they get their extra points now? 2 more points needed. 3 roads, 3 ships. 3 roads, 3 ships. Is that possible? I'm not sure that we have what it takes there. It was a bunch of ore in hand. It might just have to be yeah, it's gonna have to be 1, 2, 3 in order to get there, but I'm not sure if they've got it. They're at 6 segments right now. Largest is at 8 for Enfo. Dobbins could steal it, but it seems a little bit far away. I think it was the 9 that rolled, the 11 there too. So it would have had to been the 10 and the 11. And then maybe the 9 there. 9, 10, 11 would have done the trick there. 3 to 1. Dev card gets bought out there. Dobbins 5 resources. 3 to 1 for the brick. Lays down a road. Is going to stretch it out. 8 gets rolled out now. That's a big one. 16 for bump set spike. The ship comes down. That's game. Bump set spike. That's game. That's game for bump set spike. 13 points for the victory. Dobbins at 11 was so close. Enfo creeping into that one. Pavons pretty close themselves. They had a really good setup to start here. But yeah, allowing Bump to move over here. I think there was that one where the robber moved over instead of the pirate moving on. I think keeping the 6 blocked and making sure that they couldn't get that extra expansion might have been the way to go. So Bump, no extra points. Actually, nobody had any special victory points there. No special victory points whatsoever. Or no development points. The 5s and the 4s, unfortunate here. I thought the Woodport would play a little bit more of a role for Pavons there. Yeah, only 1 road builder there. And it was close. Dobbins was actually close to stealing that one too. making their exit in the semifinals. Bump Set Spike moving on to the finals here. Yeah, only a few development cards there. One road short. Yeah, really close one there. So let's see where we're at here. Production here. Dobbins did actually have some of the best production in that one. Maybe just the wrong combination of cards. Maybe having to trade them all away. Bump had 66 there. Pavons actually ended up with only 38 production. So their numbers just did not roll. That is going to do it for this one.